friends, Heidi here from Rain Country. God is good all the time. And I'm here for another Monday This and That vlog where I talk about all kinds of different things, leading you back to some old videos, letting you know videos yet to come, answering questions that have come in the past week, or whatever I feel like talking about. So let's get to the topics of today, starting off with the red onion skin powder. So the question that many will be asking is, does it have to be red onion skin? Nope, it can be any color onion skin you have. This right here actually is the blend of the granulated organic onion I get and the red onion skin powder that I made. So in the little short that you would have seen by now that came out, which I'll also put right here, it shows me just using the red onion skins and then powdering them up and putting them in a little jar just to show you how pretty it looks, but then decided to go ahead and mix it in with my regular white onion. So this is something I'll be doing with any color onions. I usually buy red from Misfits Market because I like the color, but I will get yellow or white or whatever is available, organic of course, or whatever I grow. And when you pull those skins off, I know a lot of people like to make broth out of that. They'll stick them in the freezer or something until they get enough and make a big batch of vegetable broth, which I keep saying I'm going to do and then always forget. And then I decided, well, why not just fall back on what I've been doing a lot of lately and just dehydrate them, then powder them up and use them the way I use the rest of my granulated onion. So in this case, since we still have fires going in the wood stove, I've just been drying them next to the wood stove on that special rack that Patrick made me quite a number of years ago. So whenever I have fires going, I utilize that thing a lot for dehydrating various things. And if you'd like a video on that, because some people have been asking about that, Patrick did make a video like 6, maybe 7 years ago on how to build your own off-grid drying rack. And there's so many different ways to do it. But in this case, we were wanting to make it so that it was definitely fireproof so I could use it on top of the wood stove as well as next to the wood stove. So he made it out of old bed rails. Then we bought the trays. And we actually found the trays. They're made for a smoker in our local grocery store. And so he built them to fit that. I think they're 14 by 14 or 13 by 13, one of the two. But you could do something similar with, if you're getting, let's say, some stainless steel trays that would go in either an Excalibur or the bigger size Kasori, you could do something similar, or even the smaller size. But also, I have a video I did a few years ago on the many different ways that you can dehydrate. They don't even have to use electricity, just some ideas of how you can create your own food dryer. So I'll link to that video down below as well. So anyway, yeah, it was just kind of an idea that I had. I'm sure other people have done it, but I'm like, oh, why didn't I think of doing this before? Because I never seem to remember to start a bowl for scraps like this. So if I just start dehydrating them, just throw them in there on the tray next to the wood stove, dry them, powder them up, and then just mix them in with the granulated onion I already have. That works great for me. Let's talk a little bit about vinegar again. I know it's topics some of you are probably getting a little tired of, but I did strain out the mango peel vinegar that I had sitting back here. And I actually did a short on that, which I'll put right here. And that one actually shows me making it in a very quick format because all your shorts have to be, 60 seconds or less. And then once I strained that out, I also had an organic pineapple that I bought from Misfits Market. And then cut that up so I could enjoy the wonderful fruit. And then I use the peels. I don't care if there's a lot of fruit left in there. And though sometimes I'll eat the core of the pineapple, a lot of times I'll just go ahead and throw it into the vinegar as well, just to add more to that. So I did start a batch of pineapple skin or rind vinegar. Now, some people have noticed, and as have I, that when it comes to the pineapple, it is the one I'm most likely to develop cam yeast. Not every single time. Sometimes it turns out absolutely perfect, and maybe about half the time it gets cam yeast. I don't worry about that because in that case, I can use the pineapple vinegar as a hair wash because it's not going to leave that yeasty smell behind, just the pineapple smell. Or I can just give it to the chickens because they don't care. For using for other food related things where you don't want that yeasty flavor in there, a lot of times you can strain out through a fine cloth or the cam yeast when the vinegar is done, and that will be enough to get rid of it. but not always. Sometimes that taste still remains. So there are other uses for the vinegar. Oh, I also use it in my laundry. So if I don't like the taste of it, it goes to the chickens, the laundry, or even for a hair wash. And now let me talk just a little bit about the juniper berries again. So I'm really enjoying the juniper tea made from the berries. And even though a Texas girl offered to send me a bunch more, I feel bad because I know it costs money and shipping and all that, and I appreciate the offer. I just went ahead and found some organic ones through Frontier Co-op and ordered those up because I think it was like $18 for a whole pound of organic juniper berries. So anyway, today I'll be shooting a video on the benefits of juniper, just juniper in general, not just the berries, but I want to get this out right away that it is important to understand there are 2 varieties of juniper that are toxic, or at least labeled as toxic, because one of the main compounds that's also found in sage and wormwood and sweet chamomile and rosemary and so many other herbs that gives it a lot of the medicinal properties, it can be in high quantities, it can be toxic. That means even in the so-called non-toxic varieties, you got to be careful how much of this stuff you're consuming, but you have a safer bet with the things that aren't as high, such as those 2 varieties of juniper that have a much higher amount of the thujone, is the name of that particular compound, which is a monoterpene. I forgot to write down the names of them, so I'll put them here. I know the one is the Juniper sabina, and the other one starts with an O, so I'll put them here so you can see them. Those are the ones that if you know the variety of the juniper you already have growing wild or growing on your property, then that will help. Pretty much all other varieties are going to fall within the safe category. But I do know that Native Americans even use the toxic varieties for their medicinal benefits. You would just have to be careful as to not using as much, but to be on the safe side, you might want to avoid it completely. I did use some of the greens from my own juniper, which do not get berries, and I believe it is more for an ornamental use. And it is very possible, after looking at pictures, it could be of the toxic variety. So I might just stick with using that for making my cleaning vinegars like I've been doing. But it did make a real tasty tea as is. So I would like to do a little bit more research because it was the Sabina variety that mine looks like. But the other one that's supposed to be toxic looks like the other ones that are non-toxic. So you really got to know the variety. And the best I can say is, if you don't know, look up the images of the ones that are toxic and see if they look anything like the one you already have. So anyway, I wanted to get that out there, but be watching. In about a month, you'll see the video come out on the benefits of juniper in general, though most commonly people think of the juniper berries because they do have a little bit better taste because they have just a hint of sweetness that your greens are not going to have if you're wanting to use it for tea. And then I wanted to mention tomatoes. A lot of you are probably getting started on starting your seed at this point, and I do have a video on starting and growing tomatoes that I put out last year and how I do it. I did get, even though I'm not putting in a garden this year because I'm giving my garden a sabbatical rest, and it's all in this little area. Other than the new area we just dug up just about 2 months ago, and Patrick planted some raspberries in there. The rest, everything else is getting a rest here on this piece of property. So I'm not actually going to be planting tomatoes, but I did start some because I'm going to give the starts to my friend because she's going to go ahead and grow them and she can share some of those tomatoes with me if she wants. But either way, I got some started and I just decided to go with the purple ones because they seem to have the best output altogether. But anyway, I got those started in my window, but all I do is I used to slice the tomato and then dry the slices. Now I just scoop out the seeds and then dry them on a paper towel, and then I can eat the rest of the tomato. And then I just fold up paper towel, and when I'm ready to plant them, I just rip off little pieces and put them in little pots. This time, since I'm only growing the one variety, I put it all in one pot and just start it in a south-facing window. Now, the way I came up with for myself, even though I've tried several different methods, is what works best for me without having to have added heat and added light through electricity, because I don't want to be dependent on electricity to grow my plants. So I'm always trying to find ways to do that without that. Yeah, so I do recommend you check out my video, and you might find it helpful, and you might be, I don't see that being, my way works good enough for me, I'll stick with it. But if you want a really simple method that also doesn't require you having a whole bunch of teeny tiny little pots or having added heat and light to it, you might want to check it out. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the shorts I've been putting out, because I don't know why. I don't know if this is kind of a new thing. It seems like it is. But whenever I put out a short, one of the reasons, sometimes they're just for fun, but one of the reasons is to help lead you back to some full-length videos I already have where I can answer all the questions that I know the short's going to leave, because I only have 60 seconds. And so I've been putting the links to the full-length video in the description box of the short, just like I would with any video like this one. However, for some reason, the links in the shorts are not clickable anymore. I think they were at first, but you can't click on them. So, and I told people, well, try copy and paste. And a lot of people are saying they can't copy and paste. And it's probably because they're doing it from their phone. So what I try to do is, once the short publishes, and when I remember, if I happen to be there, at the computer at the time, I will also put those links in a pinned comment. And here's the weird part, is some people can, including myself, I can click on the links when I have them in the comment, but some people can't even do that. So just know that I don't know why this is happening. I don't know if it's a glitch. I don't know if YouTube's, it seems like it would shoot themselves in the foot to make it so people can't go directly to any kind of link, because that's more views for YouTube that they make money off of. However, if you can't even click on the link when I put it in the comment section, then try just going by the title, because I'll make sure that I give you the title of the full-length video, and then just try doing a search directly on my channel for that. That should work, and you should be able to pull it up, usually. So I wanted to just say that real quickly. And then for those who don't know how to access the description box on a short, so it will depend on if you're on a smart device or you're on a computer. You're either going to see three dots somewhere at the top, or you're going to see them down at the bottom, and they're vertical dots usually. They could be horizontal, but they're 3 dots either way. If you click on that, that'll open up a little menu box, and then you just click on description, and then you can access the description box of any short. Now, when it comes to videos like this that are not a short, if you're still unsure, because I still get people that are like, all these content creators say they'll put the links in the description box, but they never do, which tells me they don't know how to access the description box. If you're on YouTube, you look for the word more somewhere down here below the video screen. You click on that. It doesn't matter if you're on a smart device or a computer. If you're on Rumble, it'll be show more, and oftentimes if you're on a smart device, you'll have to scroll down past maybe whatever ad Rumble decides to put in there. Usually just under that ad you can find that. But just look somewhere down there. You'll find it if you look. Just look for show more if you're on Rumble, more if you're on YouTube. And once you click on that, it opens it up, and you'll find all the links I put in there. Unless, of course, I forgot one. That does happen, because guess what? I'm human just like you. So there's a lot that's involved, not just in editing videos, but also in uploading. And then you're trying to remember, okay, what all links did I say I was going to put in there? And, yeah, anyway, you think you get them all, and then a lot of times you still miss them. So with that said, I also want to bring up my other social media sites. Usually all the shorts that you see on YouTube are also published on my other site. So let's say you're watching me on Rumble because you don't like YouTube at all, but you don't mind being on X or on Instagram, then I post those same shorts on those sites as well. So if you're wanting to see those, then either follow me on X or follow me on Instagram, or both, and then you'll be able to see those same shorts, which I usually put them out on the social media sites before they publish on YouTube. It's kind of that little extra treat you get if you're following me on those, because every site's going to have their different benefits. And that's why I like having several different ones. Now, Freesteading doesn't have, even though I'm still there, I'm really not using Freesteading right now. I'm keeping my account so I can make important announcements as needed. But it is a little more difficult to use. I can't put videos other than links to videos. So it's just not right now worth my time for several different reasons. So the main other places besides YouTube and Rumble where you'll see the full-length videos, that you can find all the other things like the reels or slash shorts or extra photos or just other things, information I want to put out there, you're going to find on either on Instagram and on X. And then Facebook, again, I still have that for the same reason I'm keeping freestanding, is so I can have a place to make important announcements that I want to make sure that everybody can see. So this is why I have all these different places. And on top of that, each one has their benefits, and different people are going to prefer different social media sites over others. So I might have people that are more involved on Instagram but are not on X, and vice versa. So that's why it's a good idea, even though it kind of spreads me a little more thin. It's a good idea for me to be able to try to get myself out there in as many different places as I can. But the things I like about Instagram is you can put as much text into your post as you want, where you can't do that on X without having to pay for it. But on X, you can actually post direct and clickable links in your post, where you can't do that on Instagram. It's one of the features of Instagram I just despise the most. I wish they would make it so you could put clickable links. Well, that's it for my this and that for the week. So please don't forget to look for the video links I'll be putting down below, and any other information I can think of. And any thoughts, ideas that you'd like to share, please put those in comments down below. And thanks for watching. Take care and God bless.